Hello guys, welcome back to our video. Today we are doing something a little different. This isn't a start of a let's play. Today I will be explaining how the economy works as well as how to build it up. Now there's many ways the economy works. It's pretty interesting. There's many ways to make it stronger, and it is very important, very vital to winning a game, because without a weak economy you won't make resources and you won't be able to make units, which is the main point of the game. Now every country starts with a different economy. I guess you could say there are stronger ones, there are weaker ones. Some countries are stronger than others economy wise, and things like that. In other words, the bigger economy you have, the bigger the potential you have, and the more units you can put out. So that is why it's so important. Then of course you want to have as big an economy as possible. You would build up, you would do whatever it takes, of course. You could build up, you can, do whatever depending on how much time you have and stuff. And right now I'll show how to build up your economy. Now, as a country you have cities, and these cities are the main places where you make resources. There's also classic provinces which make resources, but that is way less important and makes way less. Now there's also cities that make double resources, such as Washington over here, or New York, and you can see Philadelphia makes only one oil, or half the resources of Washington or some other place that has double resources. Now, the more a province or a city makes, the more you want to build it up, of course, because then it makes more resources, more percentage of resources. For example, looking at industry in Washington DC, you can see the current level gives us plus 10% resource production in this city, which is something pretty decent. Now the more you build it up, you can build up to level 5, the more you get, and it's in percentages, as you can see. So if you make 2500 here, you're gonna make 10% more with level 1 industry, plus 25% more with level 2 industry, and so on. So when you have one that makes double this, you're gonna be getting double, and making the building will cost the same amount. That is the reason why you wanna rush these double resources, of course depending on what your economy needs. So for example, I would usually go over here and build, for example, these ones up as well as these ones and these ones, because oil, metal, and rare materials are what matters most in building up an economy. So keep that in mind. If you are going a long term and to build up an insane economy, make sure to focus on these first. Now there's also non-core cities. For example, Honolulu over here makes only 570 a day, rare materials that is, which ain't that much, and it wouldn't be very worth building it up. It would actually be more worth building regular provinces up instead of it, at least some of them, because looking here, Manila or Honolulu makes not much, and over here you can see this, which is a province, not a city, making like almost triple that. So you wanna make sure to look over here, because there's sometimes provinces that can make quite a lot of materials. So you wanna build this up. There's also local industry which you can build in regular provinces which do this. Level 1 is plus 35%, level 2 is 100%, and level 3 is 200%, which is insane. That can be pretty strong. That's also why you wanna build these provinces up. This province over here can make up to 4,500 rare materials when built up fully, which is a full city. That is, not so built up, but built up to some extent at least. So that is some pretty insane stuff that you should keep in mind. When you're looking at the army, you can make a motorized army, you can do that, you can do whatever. So you can, invest more into metal and oil for those. You can invest into certain fields. But altogether, if you're looking to make a mixed economy, you should build them all up when you're building mixed units as well. You can also build a mixed economy when, not building, for example, only fuel and metal units, or units that take only fuel metal, because you can also sell the resource that you're not using for the military to then get money and buy oil and metal, for example, with the money, which can be pretty good. So what you wanna do to build industries up? For example, we can go over here, Washington DC, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna build industry. That is the sole building, literally the only one that makes you produce more stuff. So that is what you wanna build up. Infrastructure used to act as industry and make more resources, but it doesn't anymore, and it doesn't affect production at all. Now, one thing that could very well impact how much you produce is a propaganda office. If the province morale is lower, especially lower than 100% morale, which then you could build that up for it to make more, since morale affects production as well. So that is very important. You can also build them in regular provinces, which yeah, should be kept in mind. So that's the combination. One way to view how the economy is doing is looking over here how much you're producing. You can see production 17,553 per day. This is 17,930. This is 21,000. This is 21,000. This is 19,000. Now, one way to also see your economy is over here. You can see how much money you're making, 7,200. This is a pretty good reflector on the economy. The more money you make, the bigger your economy is. You can see how big your economy is based on the amount of money you make. That is the most important thing. Of course, you gotta, count that you are producing units and stuff, so this won't be exactly accurate. Although you gotta look at the production of money, which is 176,981. That's a good indicator of your economy. Also, every 4 days, you will be able to see your economic strength and compared to the rest of the world over here. It's gonna be on day 2 and then 4 days from then on. So day 2, day 4, day 10, day 14, day 18, day 22, and so on. You will be able to see how well your economy is doing and how much it has grown, as well as many other things. Countries start with different economies, especially like Soviet Union, USA have high production, and there's smaller countries that make a lot less and stuff like that. Some countries are also less developed, so they can grow more and become a big economy even if they start as relatively small of an economy. Also, colonies can boost your economy quite a nice bit, especially if you have a lot of them. For example, the UK and France. Although this most of the time isn't so much. The sole reason why France can be stronger than Germany is because France's economy is stronger. Now this is surprising, since looking over here in Europe, France has only 9 core cities. It's a decent amount, although it's not too much. It's definitely not insane. And one thing that's also something you should keep in mind is that France's economy is stronger than Germany's, and Germany has 12 core cities, 3 more than France. So we can see that the French colonies are absolutely carrying France's economy. They have most of their victory points here, but they usually don't produce much of these cities, as you can see, very little actually. But the thing is, they have a lot of cities and a lot of land, which helps a fuck ton. Although it's very easy to lose these colonies, for example, Indochina to China or Japan, Africa to almost anybody, in certain plots of land. But most of your colonies are over here in Western Africa. So if you keep hold on this, then you can be pretty good. Although if you lose your colonies, you will get absolutely fucked, because Germany will outgrow your economic strength and will definitely take you out. So you can see that. Also, the more units you have, the more resources they use. For example, infantry, if you click on them, you can see they have daily upkeep, which costs manpower, money, goods, and food. Every type of unit is different. For example, this uses metal and oil as well, and so on. You can see that. Navy too, you can see this. It's a lot different. Air Force even uses rare materials. So you can see that the bigger your army is, the more of your economy is being used to feed your army. and the less units you can make, and the less you can use your economy for other sectors of the game. For example, building up economy even further, and so on, building up tank plants and factories, so on, So you can see that your army limit is mostly the most important factor in limiting your army size is your economic strength. For example, when I played the Soviet Union, I had an army of 840 units because my economy was so strong and I was reaching the limit there slowly but surely. My economy produced half the materials it usually would because of how big an army I had. Although I could still pull, up another, let's say, 100, about 200 units, maybe a little more. So up to 1,000. I'd say even more units than that. Although I had a lot more land than just the Soviet Union. But yeah, so you can see that. Economy is very important, not only building units, but researching stuff, building tank plants or factories in general, and so many other things. Materials are at the center of the game. That is why you're gonna want to build your country up a lot and make sure you can produce a lot of materials so you can have the most units and be able to win the game, hopefully, or do whatever you want in the game. At the end of the day, economy is what matters the most. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video right here. So thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.